business that you were passionate about, then you would know what it takes to run a business, but you don't. So don't even act like you know what I'm talking about.
We all know the bright side of fame. After all, it's fed to us in a continuous 24-hour news cycle on every type of screen imaginable. But for each news story that shines a light on all the positive aspects of celebrity, there are two that have fallen through the cracks because they cast the industry in a less than favorable light. These stories deal with the dark side of fame, and that's what this series is all about. In today's episode, we're taking a look at one of the most famous and influential celebrity families of modern times, if not ever. That's right. I'm talking about the Kardashians. Not only would their television series Keeping Up with the Kardashians propel the entire family to instant fame, it changed celebrity culture forever with their tell-all approach that let their fans into every aspect of their lives. On the bright side of fame, the show was a runaway smash hit that set the family up with an endless series of successful business deals that would create the Kardashian empire as we know it. In the blink of an eye, the Kardashian women were gracing the cover of every magazine conceivable and generating endless headlines that would turn the Kardashians into arguably the most well-known family in the world. But on the dark side of fame is a different story altogether, and as much as the Kardashians are heralded for the ways they've taken over the culture, they're also vilified for that very same thing. After their rise to the highest heights of fame, each member of the Kardashians has tried to keep on top of secrets from coming to light, including everything from a sex tape to endless issues with infidelity, a sexual identity crisis, and scary bouts with mental illness. So now, let's take a look at some of their darkest secrets. Hey, what's poppin', guys? It's your boy Marlon Palmer back at it again with a brand new episode of our series that takes a closer look at the darker corners of celebrity. Today's subject is none other than the Kardashians, basically America's version of the royal family. Today we're gonna take a look at some of the biggest scandals each member of the family has been a part of. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at ThatDudeMcFly to let me know what you guys think. But let's get into the story. Let's begin with almost everyone's first memory of the Kardashian family. Kim Kardashian's sex tape from 2007. I was hoping we'd start here. Now, this home video that Kim made with singer Ray J was actually shot back in 2003, but was mysteriously leaked 4 years later, only months before the reality series Keeping Up with the Kardashians was set to premiere its very first episode. Coincidence? We'll never know or care. As curious as that timing is, Kim was shocked when the video began to make the rounds. She soon served and settled the lawsuit with Vivid Entertainment, who released a film that paid her $5 million. There were rumors that circulated after the fact that Kris Jenner and Kim had signed a contract with Vivid to originally release the flick, but reps from the family have always denied the veracity of these claims. In terms of how this level of exposure affected Kim, who was only in her 20s at the time, she told Oprah,
"You know, I think that's how I was definitely introduced to the world, so I'd like to think that I'm, aware. I'm not naive to that fact."
Years later, after the death of Kim and Kourtney's father, Robert Kardashian, in 2003, their stepmother, Ellen Pearson, began airing the family's dirty laundry by selling details from his diaries in Touch magazine. According to these entries, Ellen claims that Kim and Kourtney's mother, Kris Jenner, would torture her daughters with hair pulling, arm twisting, and repeated beatings. Needless to say, the Kardashians quickly denied all of these rumors and slapped Ellen with a lawsuit that was since been settled. But speaking of the Kardashian parents, how can we go very far without talking about the story of Caitlyn Jenner? For years, the family tried to downplay Bruce Jenner's desire to be a woman, even after his daughters Kendall and Kylie caught him in a dress one time. Speaking with Diane Sawyer in 2015, Bruce, who had yet to take the name of Caitlyn, explained how that happened. Anytime someone walked into the room, the camera turned on because Kendall thought Kylie was stealing clothes from her. They came home and turned on the computer and went, "Oh my God." Bruce went on to mention a similar circumstance with Kim where she saw him walking around in a dress, and rather than address it in any way, she quickly left the house and went for a drive.
And I remember I was literally shaking, packing an overnight bag to sleep at Kourtney's house. I didn't know. I thought, oh my God, I was like 21, 22. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, I've caught him with this secret, and this is, he didn't want me to see this.
Of course, whenever this topic is broached, the question is always raised in terms of how much Kris Jenner knew and exactly when she knew it. This question has apparently created a huge rift between the two former spouses because they have conflicting ideas on the matter. In Caitlyn's memoir, The Secrets of My Life, she alleges that Kris 100% knew about her identity crisis when they first met, but Kris has adamantly denied these claims and slammed the book as lies.
Everything she says is all made up. Why does everything have to be that Kris is such a bitch and an ass?
Due to these discrepancies, Kim believes that her mother and stepfather will never reconcile, telling Andy Cohen that if they ever do, it will only be because of their daughters, Kendall and Kylie. Now, I know most of us tend to think of the Kardashian woman when we hear the family name, but let's not forget that beyond the former Bruce, there's also Rob Kardashian hanging around in the background. And the one time he springboarded to the front of the family, it was not a good look.
I was devastated, of course. I'm like, how could somebody like post these pictures of me, and I'm like, wow, okay. Like, this is a person that I trusted. I just felt
betrayed?
Yeah, betrayed.
Rob found himself in hot water after he posted several new photos of his ex-fiancée Blac Chyna on Instagram and Twitter in July of 2017, while also accusing her of using drugs and being unfaithful during their relationship. Understandably, Chyna was granted a restraining order against Rob, and the former couple eventually reached a custody agreement over their daughter Dream in September of that year. Of course, Rob is far from the only Kardashian to have issues in the romance department. In fact, at some point or another, every single Kardashian has had their moment in that particular spotlight. Take, for instance, Khloe and her failed marriage to Lamar Odom.
Marriage ain't easy, honey, child.
It's not? Your marriage wasn't easy?
I've been there before.
These two were married in 2009, and while their marriage wasn't exactly the farce that the other Kardashian marriages have turned out to be, it was far from perfect. In fact, if we're being honest, it was completely dysfunctional. Their relationship was built upon such a foundation of lies that in an episode for their television series, Khloe admitted that she faked trying to have kids with Lamar.
When I was doing my fertility treatments, like, they were more so for Lamar, I had to stop.
What exactly was the problem with their relationship? Well, where to start? Not only was Lamar wildly unfaithful to Khloe, but his issues with drug addiction are extremely well documented, including his near-fatal overdose in 2015. In retrospect, it makes a lot of sense that Khloe would slam the brakes on starting a family with the man, considering the circumstances. When Khloe had finally moved on from this former Lakers legend, she jumped into the arms of yet another philandering NBA forward named Tristan Thompson, and their relationship would also be rocky to say the least. Like when video evidence surfaced in April of 2018 of Tristan at a club with a couple other women getting intimately acquainted, just really good friends, you know. At the time that video leaked, Khloe was already 9 months pregnant with their daughter True. Khloe would later call it quits with Tristan after he was caught cheating again, this time with Jordan Woods in February of 2019, but the two would eventually reconcile and are still living together, attempting to work things out. So let's move on to Kendall Jenner next, the young woman who has the entire fashion world in love with her. Kendall is often portrayed as the quiet, successful, hardworking sister of the Kardashian clan, but as she's mentioned many times before, she struggles with bouts of panic attacks and sleep paralysis.
I was really, really young, and I remember not feeling like I couldn't breathe and running to my mom and being like, Mom, I feel like I can't breathe, something must be wrong.
Her problems eventually got so bad that Kris recruited a therapist to speak with her daughter, and thankfully this seemed to help. Kendall wrote on her own website, "Anxiety was a huge hurdle for me to deal with this past year, but I think I'm finally learning how to cope. I learned that it's all mental, so I try to prevent anxiety attacks by bringing my mind somewhere else." She probably just drinks a Pepsi, if we're being honest. When it comes to Kourtney Kardashian, her biggest cross to bear has always been her relationship with her ex, Scott Disick. Scott first began to show signs of extreme misbehavior in 2010 when, during an episode of Keeping Up, he was filmed inebriated and shoving a $100 bill into the mouth of a waiter who had cut him off. From there, things got a whole lot worse as his battles with substance abuse intensified. Eventually, Kourtney kicked him out of their home in 2014 after he was completely off the wall drunk.
Scott's here.
I'm sure he is.
I thought you were gonna lay down, Scott.
Can I come home?
You're not allowed to come here in that state of mind.
And then there was Kylie, the youngest self-made billionaire in the world. Or is she? Just a month after Forbes bequeathed upon her billionaire status, they stripped her of the title, claiming that she had deceived them about her finances. Forbes accused the family of exaggerating the profits of Kylie's company, and after recalculating the numbers, decided that she was only worth around $900 million. In other words, about $100 million less than their original estimate. Kylie's response was understated and also kind of hilarious. Alright, let's wrap things up back where we started with the real matriarch of the Kardashian clan, Kim. Kim's career has been plagued with scandal and controversy ever since her homemade tape first leaked, but perhaps even more controversial than that were her two failed marriages to Kris Humphries and now Kanye West. When Kim first married Kris way back in 2011, the wedding was so lavish that no one would have guessed it was only gonna last 72 days. Well, No one but Kim, that is. Kim's eventual divorce filing not only shocked the world, it shocked her newlywed husband, who had no idea it was going to happen. Kris told TMZ, "I'm committed to this marriage and everything this covenant represents. I love my wife, and I'm devastated to learn that she filed for divorce. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it work." But Kris was never able to figure it out, and their divorce was finalized in 2013, paving the way for Kim to eventually marry one of the biggest and greatest hip-hop legends of all time, Kanye West. For a while, everything about this relationship seemed to be a match made in heaven. But after Kim was robbed at gunpoint in Paris of 2016, it was Kanye who began to show signs of mental instability. He canceled his world tour and checked himself into the UCLA Medical Center for help, suffering from exhaustion and sleep deprivation. He remained there for over a week, but in the aftermath of all of this, Kanye began to spiral.
JC called me. Hey, bro, JC, I know you got killers. Please don't send them out my head. Just call me.
TMZ reported that the rapper became unstable after screwing up the dosage of his medication, adding that Kanye suffers from psychological issues, including being bipolar, something the Kardashian family would do their best to downplay and sweep under the rug. Eventually, Kanye's antics culminated in his hopeless run for the presidency in 2020, where he broke down on stage during a rally recalling a conversation he and Kim had about abortion. Airing their private conversations out loud like this reportedly upset Kim, and Kanye took to Twitter, claiming that the Kardashians were trying to get him locked up and that he tried to get a divorce from Kim 2 years ago. That was more or less the last straw. Kim filed for divorce in February of 2021, and the two have split from one another after 6 years of marriage. So what do you guys think? I mean, that's a crap ton of controversy, am I right? But perhaps the most controversial thing of all that this year, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is finally set to end after 14 years of being on the air. Why? Well, to be honest, ratings have been in decline for a while now, and if some of the recent events on the series are anything to go by, the stress of their many different ventures is finally getting to these sisters and affecting their relationship with one another. Yeah, I'd say now is probably a good time as any to bring this chapter of their life to a close. Be sure to let me know what you guys think about the Kardashians' brush with the dark side of fame in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow our series on Instagram at Before They're Famous to vote on what's next, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!